question. Vedanta is the path of knowledge for removal of ignorance of self. Okay. A child which is born is innocent and blissful. As we become old, we acquire knowledge of the world and knowledge of the self also, about self also. But this knowledge of the self is obtained from the world. So it's a transactional knowledge of the self. What is the real knowledge of the self is not there. And the bliss of the innocence of the childhood is lost. The wrong knowledge of the self gathered over a period of growth has to be corrected with the right knowledge of the self. The right authentic knowledge of the self. Sri Yajnavalkya Rishi in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells his wife and disciple, Maitreyi, "Oh Maitreyi, you have to behold the Atman or the self alone. Only Atman is to be known, the self alone is to be known. You have to search only for the Atman. It is the Atman which is to be heard about. If you have to hear something about life, in life, only hear about the self. If you have to think about something in life, think about only the self, Atman. You have to meditate on Atman. There is nothing worthwhile in life to see, to think, and to know. Everything else is worthless other than the self." This is the teaching of the sage Yajnavalkya to his disciple and wife Maitreyi. What should one do if he has desire for self-knowledge called mumukshutva? He has to approach an authentic spiritual master, a genuine spiritual master who is establishing truth. He should surrender to the master and do service to the master. The master who is establishing truth will answer all the questions and remove the ignorance of the self to help the disciple establish in truth. This is the genuine spiritual process. As Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one should adopt this process. And when Yajnavalkya says, Atma areva drashtavyam shrotavyam mantitavyam, the word mantitavyam is important. Manthana means churning. Okay? Like you churn the curd and get butter, the mind has to be churned. Mind is full of doubts about the self. The doubts of the self has to be clarified from the master. This is called manthana. The doubts have to be clarified by it's not by believing in something, it is by a logical understanding. It's not a blind faith. You have to logically understand the teachings of Vedanta. The teachings of Vedanta is given by a spiritual master in a very, very logical and systematic way. This is called prakriya. An authentic spiritual process or prakriya will remove the ignorance, doubt. Okay? The mind will be free from doubts. Now, the logic of Vedanta is different from the logic of the world. The logic of Vedanta is called higher logic, whereas the logic of the world is for transactional purpose. How is the higher logic? What is this higher logic? Higher logic is will uplift your mind by helping the mind to drop the doubts about the self and take you closer to the self. This is the logic which is applied in Vedanta teaching. Okay. Lower logic is definitely required for your day-to-day living. The higher logic removes the ignorance of the self. The ignorance of self is called avidya. The wrong thoughts about the self, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, these are the wrong associations with the self, are called avidya vritti, or thoughts of ignorance. An authentic spiritual process, atmadana, removes the avidya vritti using vidya vritti, or higher knowledge. So after reading avidya vritti with the vidya vritti, both avidya vritti and vidya vritti will disappear. It is like a person has a disease, that medicine has to be taken. After the medicine will remove the disease, after that medicine is also not required. The clouds may cover sun for some time. Sun may not be visible, but the moment the clouds are dispersed, sun is visible again. So like that, the wrong knowledge of the self, or avidya vritti, covers the real self, which is like sun. So vidya vritti, the winds of knowledge called vidya vritti, remove the avidya vritti, then the self, atma, shines like a sun. So this is the teaching of Sri Adnavar Rishi. So the authentic process involves shravana, or listening to the truth, manana, and nididhyasa, establishing the truth. So this is the threefold process of self-knowledge. Okay.